Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I want those of you who are hardcore, those who were chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who from their mother's womb were born. You do this very well. You must be very, very strong.
Mwerenda siputa makamwero mwekanyinaga biko kulie okeruo biko kulie iye jamalike okeruo omwerenda boroku makamwero wanyi omwerenda buruchekwa makamwero wewu Biafra biko kulie okeruo biko kulie iye jamalike okeruo the spirit of Biafra biko kulie okeruo omwerende Biafra kidie mube biko kulie okeruo oamadike no na donjon umukekwe kihereme yae Odike, mbosi ike rura jogadike. Biko kulie okeruo. Biko kulie, iye jamadike okeruo. The Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government in SI, Master Simon M. Epondo sumudu srega baniru na ebuda. Nebradra tapo mayebudo. Ogine. Masi Simon Ekpa, emesu wakokwere onyendu. Ihe gamadi keruo, imapwa Simon Ekpa wujie. Ihe gamadi keruo, Simon Ekpa watakata wo. Ojuda kwenyi, mkwikwere onyendu kine betata. I will follow you, never look back. I will follow you. Prime Minister, I will follow you. I will follow you. The question is this: if Nigerian government failed to organize referendum for children of Biafra, are you ready to lead us to do anything in order to get freedom for Biafra? And I'm going to be number one to follow you. If you are looking for 100 men, you will find 15 in me. Okwe Bucharangui, Master Simon Ekpa, Ogene. Master Simon Ekpa, Biko, GC, Kaka, Nogo, Atakata, Kaina, Ojuda, Uwe, Kwipolonyendu, Kine, Menata. I am 50 men, oh yes, and I said, I will follow you, never look back. I will follow you. Prime Minister, and you got one who got I will follow you. And I will follow you. I will follow you. Oh, Madike Biafra, Dahi Moroka Yarole. Iye Jamadike, Biafra Republic Government Awukie. Iye Jamadike, Commander General Lewejiri. General Buduso, Sona Atakata War. Commander Holy Ghost, okonye ndu kpọrọ bunu na satata biko kulie nuo oge ruo biko kulie ihe jama ike oge ruo biko kulie nuo oge ruo biko kulie ihe jama ike oge ihe jama ike oge
maka Biafra wero putara anyị onye ndu Simon Ekpa Obatobiye.
Witness me, I want to remain in the spirit because we must worship heaven. We answer your name, O Lord of hosts. Everything about us is designed to offer glory unto thee. We have atoned for our sins last year. This very year we have not only atoned for our sins, we have sealed, we have shed blood, they have shed our blood. We have let our sacrifice be made unto thee. Even on the 30th of August, as we are being felled by the bullets of the enemy, by the workers of iniquity and of darkness, we remain very strong today to beckon upon thee, to ask you for your mercy and for your grace, to ensure that your kingdom is restored upon the face of the earth, that you can bring your healing hand to bear upon the life of those of them that you created for one singular purpose, and that purpose alone, which is to worship you in truth and in every honesty. Is there any way that we have erred? Is there any way that our ancestors may have sinned? We confess before a congregation of the whole of humanity to ask you, oh
Lord of hosts, to have mercy on us. You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor, and to praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty, because we remain every blessed day whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word, which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist? You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoko. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy, because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you.
He say, welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very program today. I appreciate everyone that has connected, wherever you are connected from. If you are joining us from Facebook, or you are joining us from YouTube, whichever part of the world you are connecting to us from, I welcome you. If you are joining us from Biafra land, my special thanks goes to you. If you are joining us from Asia, Europe, America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, You are joining us from Russia, from China. You are joining us from Israel. I welcome you and I appreciate you. Please, as you join us, like and share the program on your platform. Like and share this program to your family and friends. Make sure you invite at least one person as you join. Don't be on this program on alone. You must connect to someone and make someone part of this very program. Remember, we have been directed to engage on radical evangelism, to reach out to everyone that is concerned, Biafran people and non-Biafrans, people that matters. So it is our responsibility here. Those in the comment section, wherever you are watching us from, play your part by sharing. Get to at least one person. Let one person come to this platform through you today. For those who are coming for the very first time, please kindly like the program, subscribe to the channel, share the program. For those who are coming for the very first time, or the people that will come across this video for the very first time, I want you to know that this very platform where you are watching this program is a platform that is under the Biafra Republic of Exile, a platform under the command of our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. In this very platform, we do not come here to instigate violence. We do not come here to preach hate. Neither do we come here to attack any race or religion. We don't come here to attack any individual. What we do in this platform is to set records straight. We come here to encourage the Biafran people. We come here to tell Biafran people to continue to hold on to their legitimate rights. The right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life. These are rights that you must not play with. It does not matter who is concerned. Hold these rights there to your heart. In this platform, we bring the situation of things in Biafra land before the whole world. As you all know, Nigerian government has declared war against Biafra. And as we speak, that war is ongoing. They continue to hide it and sweep it under the carpet as if it's not happening. But we, on our own part, we bring it out for the whole world to see. If you want to see facts on videos, on pictures, go to the platform of our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, on X. That is where you are going to see evidence of every single thing I'm going to say here today. There are numerous evidence out there. They try as much as possible to hide it that is not happening, even after they have come before the whole world and say that they are having a jungle war in Biafran territory. They are declaring a jungle war in Biafran territory. The Chief of Army Staff said it on their conventional media. When it seems like their jungle war wasn't working, he came out and said now it is asymmetric warfare. That is what he called it. And in all this description, he has always used the term war. When a military man talks about war, we know what they mean. And we understand them very well. That is why today, the Biafra Republic of Exile also have activated self-defense. That is why the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra have instructed the Biafran Liberation Army to indulge in self-defense. And today, they are defending Biafra land on different fronts. The Prime Minister went ahead to give ultimatum for any arm-bearing uniformed person in Biafran territory supporting the Zoological Republic to vacate. They have been given enough time to leave Biafra land. You have no right to bear arms in Biafran territory. Biafran territory have its own government. The Biafra Republic government in exile, with the de facto government in the whole land, they are in charge. If you are not serving Biafra, you have no right to bear arms in Biafran territory. If you disobey that very instruction, whatever happens to you, you have yourself to blame. The Prime Minister warned again and again. And for the stubborn ones who have refused to listen, they are getting it hot today. And they will continue to get it hot until they understand the language. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are watching this program from, every time we come in morning hours, it is always an interactive section. a section where we interact with the whole world, a section where we share views with the whole world and tell the world what is going on in Biafra territory. In this morning section, you have the right and the freedom to join us on this platform and express yourself. You have the right to join us and make your contribution. Whatever you have in mind to say, feel free to express yourself. You must not be a Biafran to join us on this platform, even if you are a one Nigerianist. If you are from other parts of the region, or you are from any other part of the world, and there is something you are hearing about the Biafran people they are not too sure about, or there is a question you have for us, or a suggestion or idea, click that link and come in and express yourself. We will welcome you. We'll give you all the time to say your mind. The only thing we ask is that when you are coming on this platform to speak, make sure you appear decent. Very important. You can't appear here naked. Put on some clothes and look decent. And when you are speaking and communicating to the world through this platform, the Biafrans are listening. The cabinet of Biafra is listening. Our prime minister is listening. So whatever suggestions, solutions, or word you're going to say, or arguments you're going to bring, put it in a civil manner. Make your argument in a civil manner, no insult. I'm not telling you not to get angry. I'm not telling you not to express yourself. I'm not telling you to be politically correct. No. Hold on to your opinion. But in doing all that, do it in a civil manner so that the world will understand you and Biafra people can equally digest what you are saying. My fellow Biafrans that are watching, anywhere you are watching us from, I urge you to tighten up your belt, join us on this platform and express yourself. It is not mandatory that you must use English. If you are a Biafran, you are entitled to use any Biafran language to communicate to your own audience. Our aim and objective here is to reach out to every Biafran and non-Biafrans to make the world understand our situation. We want to carry everybody along. So if you feel you want to reach out to your own audience in your own dialect, the platform is here for you. You can come on. As long as that dialect is a Biafran dialect, as long as it's a Biafran dialect, you are free to come on, make your contribution, say your argument and your prayers in your dialect. It is welcome. My fellow Biafrans, we have come once again. And we will continue to do the needful. Fellow Biafrans and the people of the world that are watching, Biafra restoration is real. It is happening. The restoration of Biafra is happening in 2024. There's no amount of propaganda or blackmail that will stop it. Our enemies know so. The British know so. They know that the time has come. And that is why today you see the kind of games they are playing right, left, and center. You see the kind of propaganda they are pushing, attack they are pushing. But it does not matter what they do. It is time of freedom. And we are going to be free. As the wave of freedom has started blowing again, this time it cannot be like before. What you are seeing today did not start today. Every single thing you are seeing that is happening today didn't start today. The pursuit for Biafra did not start yesterday. The pursuit for Biafra started long ago. From 1967, when we fought a war, up to this moment, the pursuit has continued. From our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu and General Effiong, to Wazirike, to our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and today, the Prime Minister of Biafra, Republic of Nigeria, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is holding the torch. And he has made a promise that he's going to finish the work. And I believe him. I believe him, not because he said it. From the things I can see today, it is evidence that he's going to accomplish the mission. And my fellow Biafrans, for you to understand that this battle did not start yesterday. The battle we are fighting today did not start yesterday. Didn't start today. But the problem is that nobody has the balls to stand up to this very enemy. We know that the enemy is strong. The Goliath. When the Goliath appeared, nobody has the courage to face the Goliath. That finally he has given us a David that knows who called him and knows what Chukwukabia can do. And today, that David is facing the Goliath. The self-referendum you are seeing today, the call did not start today. The call for self-referendum have been going on for a very long time. Mazen Nandekano, throughout his message, was calling for self-referendum, for referendum. Mazen Nandekano, throughout his message, was calling for referendum. The call for referendum has been coming, not only from Biafra, from other international bodies, which so many of us were not aware. But I thank Chukwu Kagame today. We have a man that knows what he's pursuing, a man that has information with him. That is why anytime he's coming out to speak, I urge you to pay attention. The Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, whenever he's speaking, pay attention. You will learn a lot. There are some information he brings out that people who claim to be Biafra, people who claim to have fought for Biafra for years, do not have. There are so many informations he put on the ground that people who has been there for many years do not have. Master Simon Ekpa is a man for the job. It doesn't matter whether you agree or you don't agree. It's up to you. I am going to play a portion of the broadcast he made on the State of the Nation address. During that State of the Nation address, he made clear certain information that even people that know about it ignored it. And I can bet you that 90% of Biafrans do not know about it. When you are seeing what is happening today and the speed and the strength in Master Simon Ekpa, it is because he knows what he's doing. He has informations. Mazen Nandekan have been calling for referendum for a very long time. Nobody pays attention. The Biafrans have been shouting referendum, nobody paid attention. An international body weighed in and directed Nigeria to conduct referendum. In fact, gave Nigeria 90 days to conduct referendum. They ignored it. They gave them again the time. The second time, they ignored it. Up to 3 good times, Nigeria has been ordered to conduct a referendum. And in all this time, whenever they disobey, nobody does anything. People will be going about their business as if nothing happened. Nobody could be able to stand up to them and take it up. Just like the case of Mazen Nandekan. When the United Nations said, release him, they gave ultimatum. Nigeria pretended they didn't hear it. And they went ahead and continued to hold Mazen Nandekan. Now it's more than 3 years. A country that does not obey law, a lawless country. We are dealing with a very stubborn fellow. That is why everything has to be on board. All hands must be on deck. That is why the Prime Minister is applying multi-dimensional system to rescue Biafra. I want you to listen to this small portion of that broadcast he made on the State of the Nation. Pay attention to every single thing Master Simon Ekpa is going to say. You will learn a lot. Information is power. Let's listen to Master Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister.
Today, there are movements all over Africa to liberate Africa from neocolonialism. Biafra will not be exceptional. In 2011, Biafra became a charter member of the Organization of Emerging African States. And in December 2015, the Organization of the Emerging African States called on the Nigeria government to hold a referendum on Biafra self-determination within 90 days, including the option of the total independence as the Republic of Biafra, a transitional phase of not more than 180 days. My fellow Biafrans, it may surprise a lot of people to know that this actually happened. Nigeria ignored it. In 2016, the Organization for Emerging African State repeated the call for referendum as the sponsor of the All Biafran Conference of Accra, which took place in 2016. My fellow Biafrans, in October of 2020, the Organization of Emerging African State repeated its demand for referendum on Biafra self-determination to the government of Nigeria. All these calls were ruthlessly ignored by the Nigeria state. The Organization for Emerging African State, after deliberation, has endorsed the Biafra Republic Government in Exile self-referendum on Biafra for many, many reasons. And one of those reasons, or some of those reasons, are as follows. Nigeria refused to administer or permit a third party to conduct Biafra referendum. The organization also noted that the African Charter of Human and People's Rights guarantees the right to self-determination of everyone, including Biafra people. They also noted that Biafra has submitted a request to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights to assist with the referendum and peaceable transfer of power to the Republic of Biafra, if so indicated by its result. The Organization of Emerging African States noted that it's satisfied with the integrity of the referendum, which is being conducted digitally and at local polling station and is subject to multiple safeguards. The result of the self-referendum also was noted that it is going to be satisfiable and will meet international standard. This is the submission of the Organization of Emerging African States. Millions of Biafrans have already voted in the referendum, which is due to be concluded on November 29, 2024. The Organization of Emerging African States congratulates Biafra people and congratulates the Biafra Republic Government in Exile for its sagacity and initiative in undertaking the referendum on the future of Biafra. And on this note, they also declared the result of the Biafra self-referendum shall be considered binding under international law as a definitive statement of the intention and aspiration of the Biafra people. My fellow,
you have heard the Prime Minister speak. I hope you paid attention and listened to our Prime Minister. So many of us didn't know that the Nigerian government have been ordered for a very long time to conduct a referendum, and they ignored it. They ignored it. On 3 occasions, they have been directed to hold a referendum. They ignored it. Until we got to where we are today, and the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic took it upon himself to go ahead and conduct the self-referendum. When he mentioned self-referendum, all hell broke loose. Some people made jest of it. Some people were just laughing. They were making jest of it. They thought it was a joke. They were saying, how is it going to be possible? You are doing it online, come on the ground. But our Prime Minister was able, with the Biafra government, de facto government in the homeland, able to conduct a successful self-referendum online and offline. very, very successful and peaceful, meeting all international standards. And today, that self-referendum has been recognized by an organization. That is the starting point. The recognition came even before the end of the self-referendum. You understand that the self-referendum is still going on as you're watching me. Biafrans are still voting. We are in the second phase. It's supposed to be third phase. We have the first and second and the third phase. We are in the second phase. And in that second phase, Biafran already have gotten. Biafran Program under the command of our Prime Minister Samuel Ekpa has gotten up to more than 40 million votes. More than 40 million votes for Biafra. And we are still in the second stage. And it's going to continue until November, when the final result will be called. After the final result, then the declaration of the restoration of independence of Biafra, the second. Nothing is going to stop it. It is stage by stage. Whenever we get to that stage, we cross it. When they call us kids, they call us ignorant people, they say we don't know what we are doing. We are focused without getting distracted. You can see that the self-referendum has been recognized. And I want to play a video of our legal advisor, the Biafra Republic of Nigeria legal advisor, what he has to say. Pay attention to his own comment. You know, while we are playing all these videos and bringing this information close to you, that some of us are very forgetful and some are not paying attention. For those who were not following up or who could not be able to have time to digest the information, I want you to pay attention. The legal advisor of Biafra Republic of Nigeria is going to speak. Dr. Levy. You are going to hear him explain certain issues. For Biafrans and for those who are not Biafra, for the international community that are watching us, pay attention to the word of the legal advisor of Biafra Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Levy. Let's listen to him and hear what
Biafra is, of course, a charter member of the Organization of Emerging African States and was, as usual, leading the way for liberation from neo-colonialism in Africa by coming together with the two other charter members, Southern Cameroons and Cabinda, to form that organization, which has now grown much larger. Dr. Akwanga, the Secretary General, Ebenezer Akwanga, who could not be here today, he's up in northern Ghana. He sends his regards to you, Prime Minister. In consultations with him, it was a revelation to the Organization of Emerging African States that, again, Biafra shows the initiative to hold a self-referendum, because, of course, in the past, we always asked Nigeria to hold the referendum. And, of course, that's a mistake. 3 times Nigeria has been asked, even more times by others. And now the technology and initiative exists, so we have the ability to hold a referendum that, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the Organization of Emerging African States, will meet all international law standards. Because, of course, we're using digital and local methods. The referendum can be verified and will be the will of the people. And Biafra, again, leads the way in Africa with this. So under international law, referendum is the, by and large, of course, is the preferred method to achieve independence, because then there's no question about what the people want. Once this referendum is finished and the results announced, they will be binding under international law. Biafra, if it's the will of the people, if the republic is to be restored, then that is what will happen. The Organization of Emerging African States will be one of the first to congratulate and certify the results of that referendum. And as I believe other international organizations must do so also. For example, several years ago, an inquiry was made to the European Union by the OAS on behalf of Biafra, what their opinion was about the situation and holding a referendum. The external service of the European Union said, of course, we support all ways of achieving self-determination recognized by international law. And of course, the premier way to do this is the referendum. So again, there's no question. I think if you ask anybody, a well-coordinated referendum meets all requirements under.
You have heard from Dr. Levy. the legal advisor of Ekpa, has said it, that after the final result of the referendum, the result will be binding. It will be binding according to international law. As the final result, whatever the result says, will be binding according to international law. Nobody is going to stop the will of the people. Whatever the result says is the will of Biafran people, and it will be binding according to international law. They used to have a doubt. You see the beauty of the restoration of Biafra in the new dimension. Everything is done legally, in a way that you will understand, so that you wouldn't say that somebody deceived you, wherever you are watching me from. I want you to prepare yourself and know that the zoo is gone. Nigeria is gone. If you are a Biafran, listen and listen good. Pay attention and be focused. The zoo is gone and there is no going back. Don't deceive yourself. Though sitting on the fence, you are going to regret. If you are a genuine Biafran, wherever you are, just have it in mind and know that the zoo is gone.
The zoo has fallen. The zoo has fallen. Finally, the zoo has fallen. If you do not know that the zoo has fallen, check around yourself. Check around you.
You heard our Prime Minister. The zoo has fallen. The zoo has fallen. If you do, the zoo have fallen. Just look around you. That is the Prime Minister speaking. Do you still have any doubt that the zoo has not fallen? The end has come. Whether they like it or not, the end has come. And the more they continue to push their propaganda and pretend it is not happening, more is going to come upon them. Just like Pharaoh. Just like the stubborn Pharaoh. When it was time for the children of Israel to leave, according to the Bible, a lot of plague was brought upon the Egyptians, and Pharaoh refused. A lot of plague was brought upon the Egyptians, but Pharaoh refused, until he came to the point where every firstborn in Israel was going down, including his own son. He has no choice than to let the people go. And even when they were going, he still pursued them and chased them, and met his end at the river. My fellow Biafrans, the zoo has fallen. That is where we are. And because the zoo have fallen, they are looking for excuses, right, left, and center. They are looking for excuses, using their propaganda and blackmail to see if they can be able to distract the Biafran people. Go to their conventional media, you will see excuses, propaganda coming right, left, and center. Even when the Prime Minister have given them an answer and told them what to do, the solution to their problem is before them. Even when people come on their own conventional media to give them a solution, this time it is not Biafrans on social media. On the conventional media, people come there to tell them exactly what is obtainable. Yet, they play a deaf ear. The fly, the stubborn fly, follows the corpse to the grave. That's what that proverb means. A stubborn fly follows the corpse to the grave. They pretend not to know what is happening. And some of them that are in the know, their criminality, evil mind, and fraud will not allow them to do the right thing. I am going to share another video with you. This video was made in one of their conventional media. And when you listen to the man that is speaking, he is the only person that have come very, very close to the truth. Even though we don't agree 100% with his illustration. But when you listen to what he has said, you are going to get a lot of senses in what he's saying. You can make some sense from what he's saying. I might not agree with him 100%. He might not be correct in some of it, but he is the person that came closest. And these informations are there for the Zoological Republic government to explore and do the right thing, but they wouldn't do it. I want to play this video. Pay attention to what this man is going to say. You will learn a lot. Pay attention. If you are watching us from any part of the world, even if you're not a Biafra, pay attention. This very short clip is going to give you a clue of what is going on in the zoo when it comes to the Biafran people and the leadership of Biafra. I want you to watch.
Today, can he wrestle his followership from Simon Ekpa? There's a division because of the arrest and detention. So Simon Ekpa felt that he has to carry on the struggle now that the leader has been taken in. That is it. So if he's released today, it is likely, very likely, that he has to come to terms with Simon Ekpa to back down. Simon Ekpa is only acting because of his absence. He didn't say that he has overthrown him. Even when he wrote a letter from DSS custody directing that there should be no more sit at home and there should be no more arms against the state, Simon Ekpa said until he comes out physically that he will not believe that he wrote that under duress.
Of course.
That he wrote it. You cannot freely write something in this area. When you are in custody, you now write something. It is not voluntary. So it is on that basis that he continued doing what he's doing. Simon Ekpa is the disciple of Nnamdi Kanu and a very dedicated, loyal disciple. I believe that if Nnamdi Kanu comes out, he will be able to tame Simon Ekpa. And many of these criminals that have cashed into the struggle or kind of tried to hide under IPOB to commit atrocities, they will be fished out or they will be controlled. Remember that this man, Nnamdi Kanu, people listen to him. So if he comes now and declares a truce, I believe that it will work. And those who try to violate that truce will easily be fished out. They will be sidelined. They'll be exposed. Now, people are picking up arms out of resistance or protest to his extraordinary rendition. That is it. Before he was extraordinarily renditioned, there was no spate of violence like we see after his arrest. So it is a kind of protest against the way the state has treated him. So I believe that if he should come out now, all that will abate. But let me also say that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not entitled to be listening to one person or the other as to whether or not he will exercise his powers under the Constitution. Section 174 of the Constitution, subsection 3, like my learned friend pointed out earlier, only gave 3 conditions for the exercise of the power of withdrawal of criminal prosecution. It says that the Attorney General should only give vent to 3 factors. One is public interest. The second one is interest of justice. The third one, to ensure that such withdrawal is not against due process of law. And then we are talking about justice here. Interest of justice. It is on that basis the president must act, no matter what any of his commissioners thinks, no matter what any Southeast governors think, in the interest of justice. Because if you can release the chairman or leader of Miat Allah that has been saying all kind of terrible things against Nigerian state, you release him, you withdraw his charge and he goes home, and then you release Showore and he goes home, you release Sunday Igboho, withdraw his charge and he goes home. Then where is justice? Where is equity?
You have heard from this man. There are still some people that have common sense in that zoo. There are people that still have some common sense. This man made some points very clear. Some of the points he has elaborated are just very, very clear for a layman to understand. And these are what our Prime Minister have repeated again and again and again and again. Our Prime Minister have never at any point in time claimed leadership from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has never at any point in time overthrown Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, in every of his address, he addresses Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as my leader. He called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu his leader. The only reason why today he's taking charge is because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not around and nobody's going to stand it for him. And so therefore, no order can be taken from the DSS. No. You can't take order from somebody who is in captivity. It's not possible. It is your duty to rescue the person that is in captivity. And if they want to make change, they know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has a lot of influence on Mazi Simon Ekpa. If you're so scared and so disturbed about the presence of Mazi Simon Ekpa, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as easy as ABC. But they wouldn't do that because they have other agendas. The man also touched the hand, and when they were giving excuses, you see the presidency giving excuse. And each time I hear the excuse, it makes me mad. I get so angry. They will say, oh, it is some governors in the southeast that say they don't release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is some governors in the southeast. It's some people. Why would somebody instruct a president not to follow the rule of law? Why would you be listening to such people? You are not even ashamed to come and say that ordinary people are controlling your mind. You can't do what you have to do. You say people are controlling you. And the man has listed the only thing that can stop you, the only thing you can look upon to pass judgment or do whatever you want to do. Public interest, justice, and the rule of law. These three things are on the side of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The public interest on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today is that he should be released with immediate effect, unconditionally. You come to justice, it is justified that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released after his kidnapping and unnecessary incarceration. It is lawful that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should leave because the courts have said, let this man go. The court went ahead to say that no law court have the right to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu anywhere. That is what their own court said. It is not Biafran court. The court of the zoo said so. With these three major things on the side of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which are the things that the president is supposed to look upon and abandon the case, he is still clicking on it because he's a Biafran. It's about the Biafran people. It's about the freedom of Biafra. They're still holding strong on it. And they pretend they don't know what is going on. They come and begin to talk trash. They will come and tell you about one Nigeria. Which one Nigeria? Where are you going to find such? The greatest lie of all time is one Nigeria. There has never been, and there will never be, anything called one Nigeria. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. They continue to deceive themselves, push lies and propaganda, blackmail everywhere. There is nothing called one Nigeria anywhere. Take it or leave it. It is the truth. And that is why we are here. Including those who are parading themselves as one Nigeria. Go and look deep. They are just talking about it. It's about them. Either about them personally and their family, or about their tribe, about their friends, about their group of criminals. They have nothing with you. They don't care about you. You think they care about you? You are a time waster. They give a damn about you. The zoo is lawless. That is why we do not want to be part of that madness. That is why we don't want to be seen among them. And as we go further, I want to share with you another portion of that video where that man asked also some vital questions. You are going to hear him ask some vital questions. There are people that still have some common sense in them. Questions that need to be answered. And most of the questions, these are reasons why we say that Nigeria is irredeemable. It is irredeemable. It doesn't matter how you think about it. It is not something you have to pretend about. You don't pretend. The more you're pretending, you're deepening yourself into that hole. No indigenous tribe is free from this calamity. No, I can bet you that even the Biafran people are much more safer than these idiots that are jumping. These are funjas. These are funjas that don't want to hear about Biafra. They are even in a more risk than the Biafrans are. But they will continue to deny it. I want you to listen to this portion again.
Defined in International Covenant on Civil and People's Rights by the United Nations in 1966. Article 21 of African Charter. 1981 in Banjul, Gambia. And then Nigeria ratified the African Charter and domesticated it in 1983. And so now it has become a Nigerian law, part of our domestic laws. So why is Nigeria having goose pimples When people rise up to fight for equality, when people rise up to demand equal treatment, why does Nigeria develop good peoples? Why is Nigeria finding it intolerant to allow people to express themselves, which only calls for opportunity for dialogue? When an ethnic nationality stands up and says, we are not being treated fairly in this federation, it calls for dialogue. Nigeria should be responsible enough to be able to call them to and find out exactly what is the problem so as to adjust. Because there has never been a time ethnic nationalities in Nigeria met together and said, we want to form a nation. Nigeria was foisted on every one of us by the British colonial authority. And then they created 3 regions, North, East, and West. Now, in 1963, Nigeria, there was a plebiscite that created the 4th region, which is the Midwest. When did Nigeria meet to decide that we are going to be 4 regions? And when did Nigeria meet to decide that we are no more 4 regions, we are now 6 geographical regions? So these are issues that, and if you, Nigeria should know, in international law, there's what we call pacta sunt servanda. Pacta sunt servanda is found in Article 26 of the Treaty of Versailles, which states that agreement must be obeyed. Article 26 says, once a treaty comes into force, all parties to that treaty must abide by the treaty in utmost good faith. Article 18 of the same Treaty of Versailles, it says that no nation who is a party to a treaty should take any step, be it administrative or legislative step, to scuttle or to thwart or to suffocate the intent and purpose of that treaty. That is exactly what Nigeria is doing. Nigeria is signatory to all United Nations human rights treaties that endorses self-determination. And yet, domestically, they cannot hear the word self-determination. They are in breach of the obligations under Article 18 and 26 of the Treaty of Versailles of 1969.
Right. Thank you so much for that detailed.
You have heard him. A country that violates every single treaty they have signed up for, they violate it. And what baffles me is that with all these violations, the United Nations pretend not to see it. The EU is doing nothing. African Union, oh, you can see that nobody cares about you. It is every man to himself. Every man is concerned about his or her own interest. As far as their interest is protected in the West, they don't care about what happens to you. Nigeria can violate all treaties. Nigeria can open up fire and take the life of all its citizens. And nobody's going to do anything. Look at the man, very sound speaking. A country that does not obey its own law. They don't even obey their own local law. They don't. How can any human being come out and be proud to be part of that country? A country that stands against everything that is right is only somebody who is mentally deranged. We come out openly and begin to brag of being in Nigeria. Who is that person? I have never seen a patriotic Nigeria, not even one. All these ones you see claiming to be patriotic Nigeria, they are just doing it for their own selfish interest. The late Muhammadu Buhari, who they praised to be Mr. Integrity, finally became a robber. Complete robber, that's what he was. They called him Mr. Discipline. He was the most indisciplined man ever in Nigerian governance. The fraud that was performed in the time of Muhammadu Buhari has never happened in the history of Nigeria. Just of recent, I bumped into a video that was made by the guy that is working in China, Shehu. An interview Shehu was granted to a man who was explaining the kind of fraud that happened in the time of Muhammadu Buhari. We are talking about billions of dollars stolen in broad daylight with the awareness of with Buhari involved. And nobody cares. Nobody seems to say anything about it. Today, He is gone and he's sleeping and relaxing. Nobody dare mention his name. Nobody dare mention his name. But if it were to be somebody from other region, from the south especially, look at Goodluck Jonathan. Goodluck Jonathan, there is no kind of name they didn't call him. Even after he left office, they are still using him as a reference. They attacked his family, they attacked his wife and called him different kind of derogatory names. They went to the extent of seizing the property of the wife. But look at Muhammadu Buhari with what he stole and his group, Abakari. Things that have evidence. United States have sent information, evidence that indict these people, and yet nobody seemed to mention it anywhere. If you dare mention it, the next minute they declare you wanted. They will look for an allegation and put on you, and you begin to look for run for your life. I just saw the interview that Shego granted to a man who, a whistleblower of the fraud that was happening in the time of Muhammadu Buhari in Asorok. But today, do you ever expect that a drug baron in Asorok will now begin to probe Buhari? A fellow criminal, do you think he will come and probe him? You have to think again. And this is how the cycle will continue to go. The cycle will continue to go. The cycle will continue to go. You can never, ever, ever redeem Nigeria. It will continue to get worse. When a new government comes, it will become worse than the previous one. When a new one comes, it will become worse than the previous one. It will continue to nosedive. If you don't get away from the ship, you will sink with it. But I thank you that the Biafrans are walking away from that ship. We are not going to sink with it. The ship is not going to sink with the Biafrans. We are already out. Let them go to their Somalia. And nothing is going to stop us from going out. It is so painful and so sad that even the citizens, the indigenous people, have now become deaf and dumb. They have become so used to this criminality that they see it as normal. All they do today is ranting. The so-called one Nigerian is the citizens. They are helpless. They are only good in noise making. When you see them on social media, they make noise. Look at now. They are looking at Kenya. Kenya is taking action to redeem themselves. Their youth is in the front line. In the face of the guns and bullets, they are there changing things in Kenya. What do you see in the zoo? The zoo now have taken up the story. They have started ranting. They have started ranting and ranting and calling for revolution. Revolution with who? A Yoruba man, an Igbo man, an Hausa man to do a revolution. You are mad. You are insane. You are insane. A Fulani man to join you in revolution. You are mad. You continue dreaming until you are finished. And this is what they are known for. When they come to speaking, you will see them on social media, on their conventional media. They will open with their mouth. They can change the country with their mouth. They can fight battle. But when it comes to action, nothing to offer. They have started just because they saw Kenya is in. And I'm going to play a clip for you. Listen to them ranting. And when they rant, you know, these are the one Nigerians ranting. Listen to them.
Nothing but revolution. Everybody should come out. Stop being afraid. When you want to come out, they say army. Which army? What would they do? Anybody that wants to die, let him die. People are already dying. So why are you being afraid? If I would die for Nigeria to good, fine, good and fine. Let us come out. Let us come out. But Nigerians are too fearful
that the revolution will change Nigeria for good.
Revolution.
It will change Nigeria for good, where our people will come out and begin to fight. Where our people will come out and begin to fight for their right, begin to ask questions. We don't live in religion, because these people, they work in pari passu with our religious these politicians. When they come, they run to the church will run to them, and we become their meat. You understand? So anybody who is telling you pray for Nigeria, that person is Antichrist. Because you don't pray for something that is non-existent. Nigeria is something that is...
All the politicians, all those big politicians, they should bring them and slay them. They should kill all of them.
That's how we hold them accountable. Because we are killing them.
Yes, they should bring our money, let them die. They have no use to Nigeria.
People are saying this Tinubu better pass.
I said nothing. All of them. All of them. They should bring all of them and kill them. They are of no use to Nigeria.
Revolution should take place in Nigeria. You are calling
that thing that happened to Ghana, let it happen to Nigeria.
All right, thank you, Auntie.
Everybody is struggling now. Is to get, once you get the political power, you have the economy, you can control the economy.
So it's not for the interest of the masses.
It's not for the interest of the masses. No, it's not for the interest of the state, because him himself, he made it abundantly clear in one of his clips.
In a situation or in Nigeria where one man will take money or will embezzle Nigerian money and bury it on the ground, just think of it. You know that there's nothing we have nothing to offer in this country. I always tell you, we have nothing to offer in this. I always tell you that what we need now is splitting, so that when we are acting, we know the area that we are going to act. Because Nigeria is full of ethnicity and different tribes. Are you hearing me?
How do you see, is that one achievable? In a referendum?
Referendum. If we can agitate for referendum, I think we'll get it right. Get it right.
People are saying that if it was a Bowman that was the president of Nigeria as it is right now, the situation of Nigeria, they will have been complaining, there will always be a riot here and there.
No, I don't think there will be a riot, because as an Igbo man, it maybe let's assume it's an Igbo man that is a president. Remember that he has an Hausa man that is working with him. He has an Ikore man that is working with him. He has Delta man that is working. He has different tribes that are working with them.
For their own interest.
And they eat in one plate. It's still for their own interest. So the problem of Nigeria is not the president alone. The problem of Nigeria is our people. Our core people that they call honorable men, that I don't know how to put it, if they are honorable. I think honorable men should come and tell us the truth. Honorable men should see the right thing and do the right thing. Honorable men should think of way forward, how Nigeria will progress and prosper.
You see typical Nigerians. Typical Nigerians will keep themselves busy. They will keep themselves busy with things that are not meaningful. You see how they come on social media and online making frivolous suggestions that is not obtainable. Look at suggestions they're making. The other one is saying that he's ready to die for Nigeria. Madness. You are ready to die for something that doesn't exist. You are ready to die for something that doesn't exist. One is calling for revolution. Revolt with who? Who do you want to revolt with? Who? Revolt with who? You tried it in NSAS and you saw how it ended. You saw in the same citizens, the same fellow citizens will be recruited to come and fight you. The same fellow citizens will be recruited, they will recruit the same fellow citizens, they will come after you. Talks. They did it in NSAS, we saw, they didn't hide it. In Abuja, we saw the DSS bringing talks with their jeep. They will come and drop talks. With their jeep, they brought talks to fight against people who were demanding for good governance. In Lagos State, the same thing. We saw the BRT, the Lagos bus transport, whatever. They used the BRT to bring talks on video capture it, to bring talks to fight against people who were asking for a good governance. And today, of course, you know that the person who is your president is a talk, a drug baron who have been running a group of talk for a very long time. He's the person in charge there, and you think he will come and revolt and go straight. You're a joker. Keep on dreaming, keep on deceiving yourself. I thank you for the Biafra people. As for we Biafrans, there is no going back. It does not matter what the world think, it doesn't matter what they feel, it doesn't matter how they see it. We are not going back. I thank you for our Prime Minister, Master Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra, who has taken upon himself to lead Biafra to freedom. And there is no going back. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter the propaganda, the blackmail, we will never, ever go back. And they can never defeat us. They will never defeat us. And as we speak, Biafra is already winning recognition again. Just like we got recognized in the past. Biafra was recognized in the past. It is not a child's play. We get a recognition. In 1967, when Biafra was declared, it got recognition. And it's going to happen again. It has started coming. Even before the end of the referendum, it has been endorsed. After the referendum and the declaration of Biafra, you are going to see recognitions. It is going to happen, just like it happened in the past. And I want to remind you of the countries that recognized Biafra in the past, during the 1967 war. I want to remind you of those countries. Let's watch and see.
This is the home of the... We are here to get Biafra, yes. But I don't want Biafra of idiots. Azikiwe fought for independence. Jomo Kenyatta fought...
The video. Sorry, let me get the video I'm trying to play. Let me get the video. Let me get the video. Excuse me.
As strangers and given a place to settle down and carry on their...
Sorry, I hope I can find the video I'm looking for. Just be a little bit patient with me. Let's see the video of the recognition. If I can't find it, then I'm going to take my time to search for it and then
by others cannot reject himself on account of unique local factors.
What is happening? I can't find the video. I can't find the video. If I can't find it, that means I have to wait and try it again next time.
In this edition of Back in History, we take you back in time to the names of the countries that recognized and gave support to Biafra. For Lieutenant Colonel Emeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, the head of state of Biafra, these countries were the true friends of Biafra. But for Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, head of state of Nigeria, these countries were the real enemies of Nigeria. It was a war of many intrigues, and the war raged on from 1967 to 1970. The first country that gave recognition to Biafra was Tanzania. This was done on the 13th day of April 1968. At that time, Julius Nyerere was the president of Tanzania. This was Biafra's first recognition in 11 months since the commencement of hostilities, and the recognition meant so much to Ojukwu and to Biafra as a whole. So much of it was said on Radio Biafra and published in several newspapers across the continent. The statement of recognition was made public on behalf of the government of Tanzania by C.M. Gonja, then Tanzania's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. This recognition was followed by public statements made by President Julius Nyerere himself in his justification of the decision of his government to formally recognize Biafra as an independent state. He stated amongst others as follows, quote, "What right have we, in the name of unity, to refuse to recognize the fact of Biafra? For years, the people of that state struggled to maintain unity with the other people in the Federation of Nigeria. Even after the pogroms of 1966, they tried to work out a new form of unity which would guarantee their safety. They have demonstrated by 10 months of bitter fighting that they have decided upon a new political organization and are willing to defend it. Tanzania has recognized the state of Israel and will continue to do so because its belief is that every person must have some place in the world where they are not liable to be rejected by their fellow citizens. But the Biafrans have now suffered the same kind of rejection within their states, the same thing that the Jews of Germany experienced. Fortunately, they already had a homeland. They have retreated to it for their own protection, and for the same reasons, after all other efforts had failed, they have declared it to be an independent state. We therefore recognize the state of Biafra as an independent sovereign entity and as a member of the Committee of Nations. Only by this act of recognition can we remain true to our conviction that the purpose of society and of all political organization is the service of man. End of quote. You can find this quote in the document titled Government of the United Republic of Tanzania, Case for Recognition of Biafra, New York, United Republic of Tanzania Mission to the United Nations, April 13, 1968. Ojukwu and the leaders of Biafra were excited about this endorsement from no less a person but Dr. Julius Nyerere, whose voice had become well known in domestic and international discussions on issues of governance in general and on the destiny of the African continent. Dr. Julius Nyerere received applause from Biafrans in Biafra and those in the diaspora. But the federal government of Nigeria was disappointed in Dr. Julius Nyerere and Tanzania for the endorsement of Biafra. Nigeria's military head of state, Yakubu Gowon, described the endorsement as ill-advised and reckless, and as his show of resentment, he immediately recalled Nigeria's ambassador to Tanzania and severed diplomatic ties with Tanzania. The war went on between Nigeria and Biafra, and for many months after the endorsement of Biafra by Tanzania, the war did not end, but Tanzania did not withdraw their support and endorsement of Biafra. The second country that gave recognition to Biafra was Gabon. This was announced on the 8th day of May 1968. In his public declaration of support for the independent state of Biafra, President Omar Bongo stated as follows at a press conference, quote, "We, the people of Gabon, hereby recognize Biafra. Biafra still exists, for it's still ongoing. Because nothing proved to us that Biafra is finished. Why do we Gabonese recognize Biafra? Firstly, it is purely the goals of humanity. Secondly, because we know that the Nigerian Federation is a fraud and it reflects no basis. I will not tell you the history of Biafra here, but I will if necessary. But you just have to look back to 1900, to what Nigeria was, before coming back to 1906 to understand it. We Gabonese know that kind of federation. As Gabonese, we once belonged to a federation known as Federation of Old AF. We know that we are a Cinderella syndrome of this federation. For this, we know that the situation that is prevalent in Biafra is similar to the one we know, with the only difference of the genocide of Biafra, which they don't want to recognize and accept as it is. So for this experience, we the Gabonese hereby recognize Biafra." End of quote. The Nigerian government was displeased with President Omar Bongo, especially his choice of words, particularly his description of Nigeria as fraud. Nigeria took serious exception to it. Gabon went on to offer material support to the Biafran cause. When hunger became a serious killer in Biafra, Gabon allowed its airport in Libreville to serve as takeoff and landing point for aircraft that carried relief materials to Biafra. At that time, there was a blockade on the Nigerian airspace and planes were not allowed to fly relief materials across the Nigerian airspace to Biafra. Gabon is not far from the Bight of Biafra. Gabon is rich in oil and other mineral resources. It is possible that Gabon also gave financial support to Biafra. Up to the end of the war in January 1970, Gabon did not withdraw its support for Biafra. The third country that publicly declared support for Biafra was Ivory Coast, which was known at the time as Côte d'Ivoire. The recognition was made on the 14th day of May 1968. The recognition was made by the then president of the country, President Houphouët-Boigny. Ojukwu was very excited about this recognition. President Houphouët-Boigny's recognition of Biafra was propelled by his sympathy for the Biafran cause and also propelled by his fears about Soviet influence in Africa through their support for Nigeria during the war. Ivory Coast stood by Biafra throughout the war and became very helpful to Ojukwu and his people when the war was brought to an end. In Ojukwu's last flight from Biafra through Uli Airport in January 1970, Ojukwu's destination was Ivory Coast. He obviously would have discussed with President Hoford Brgie and obtained his permission to move to Ivory Coast with his family and close associates. Ojukwu left Biafra at night, and on arrival in Ivory Coast, he became the guest of the president. Ojukwu remained in Ivory Coast for 13 years before he was eventually allowed by the Nigerian government to return to Nigeria following a presidential pardon. Ivory Coast was indeed in the good books of Biafra, while Nigeria, on the other hand, was not happy with them for their support for the Biafran cause. Nigeria accused them of being responsible for the innocent souls that died in the war. The fourth country that declared open support for Biafra was the Republic of Zambia. This was done on the 20th day of May 1968. At that time, Kenneth Kaunda was the president of the country. Kenneth was a well-respected voice in Africa, and at the time of his recognition of Biafra, Zambia was a key member of the Organization of African Unity. Ojukwu was happy, but Gowon was extremely disappointed in Zambia. On 20th May 1968, Nigeria's roving ambassador at the time, Chief H.O. Davis, and his team flew into Lusaka, capital of Zambia, with a personal message for President Kaunda from the head of state of Nigeria. At the time of their departure to Lusaka, they did not hear of Zambia's support for Biafra. On arrival, they heard the news. Of the support. Chief Davis then returned to Nigeria in the same aircraft that conveyed them, barely 1 hour after touchdown. Davis and his team did not bother at this point to meet with President Kaunda and deliver the message of the President of Nigeria, President Kaunda and his country having declared full support and given recognition already to Biafra. A few days after that, Nigeria's ambassador to Zambia, together with the staff of the embassy, were recalled from Zambia and redeployed. The Republic of Haiti also gave its open support and recognition to Biafra. This was the first recognition for Biafra from outside Africa. Haiti is itself a country of several revolutionary figures, and the revolution by Emeka Odumegwu Ojukwu resonated easily with Haiti, hence their open recognition for Biafra. This recognition meant a whole lot to Ojukwu and the people of Biafra. It was widely reported in the papers and radio stations across the world. A number of other countries also gave their support to Biafra, but did so quietly without any public declaration. Most of such countries did not want to offend Nigeria. Some gave support to Nigeria and Biafra at the same time and in equal proportion. Some of them had economic ties and interests with Nigeria and therefore had to trade cautiously. They supplied weapons and further military assistance to Biafra, but did so quietly. When hunger became a serious problem in Biafra, these countries supplied food to Biafra. If Biafra had succeeded, the oil wells in Nigeria today would have been in Biafra, and these countries were more or less driven by the anticipated economic gains they would have from Biafra. They worked behind the scenes, but Biafra benefited one way or the other from them. What Biafra did not have was recognition from any of the superpowers. America, United Kingdom, Russia, China, France, and other big countries of the world did not make any open declaration of support for Biafra. This was a serious minus for the Biafran struggle. Analysts have said that if Biafra had gotten the public support of any of the superpowers, weapons, logistics, and training would have been provided, and the war would have taken a different dimension altogether. One of the major challenges of Biafra was the absence of weapons to prosecute the war. The federal side was better equipped with more competent military men and women to sustain the war. At some point, Biafra exhausted its conventional weapons and had to resort to the use of locally made weapons such as the local bomb called Obunigwe. These locally made weapons were nonetheless destructive, but their impact were momentary and could hardly withstand the firepower of modern warfare. On 9th January 1970, the Biafran dream took a nosedive when the leader of Biafra, Lieutenant Colonel Emeka Dumego Ojukwu, left the Republic of Biafra in the last flight from Biafra, which took off from Oli Airport. He arrived in Côte d'Ivoire, where he took asylum and remained there for 13 years. 2 days after his departure from Biafra, Biafra was surrendered to Nigeria by Major General Philip Effiong, Ojukwu's second in command. The decision to surrender Biafra to Nigeria was not a unilateral decision taken by Philip Effiong alone, but a decision reached upon consultation with the remaining leadership of Biafra. The story of Nigeria-Biafra war is a story defined by several events. It remains an unforgettable period in the history of the people of the former eastern region of Nigeria and of Nigeria as a whole. Thanks for watching this edition of Back in History, and do remember to subscribe to this channel or follow the page for regular notification on every new video. I remain your friend and host Ekpa Udim, wishing you the best of time as we continue to journey together in this mission to discover and document in contemporary digital forms the vast historical narratives of the continent of Africa.
I hope you enjoyed this very video I played. My purpose of playing this video is to remind you that Biafra is a country that has been and has continued to exist. Nigeria have tried every means possible to wipe away the history of Biafra. Sometimes they use their conventional media to tell you that Biafra never existed. There was one day that one in Arise TV, Apeface, was speaking. After talking about Biafra, he said, I think he said restoration. When he used the word restoration, he said, no, not restoration. When you say restoration, it seems as if there is a country that existed before that. Biafra never existed. But Biafra existed. Biafra existed. This man said this in Arise TV. He used the word restoration of Biafra, and he got himself. He became shocked. Why would he use restoration? That Biafra never existed. That is sorry he used it, that he's not supposed to be used, that Biafra has never existed. And I play this very video now to show you that Biafra has been. And Biafra got recognition from countries. You see, here he had mentioned the countries that recognized Biafra. One of the countries that first of all recognized Biafra was Tanzania. After Tanzania, you have Gabon. After Gabon, you have Ivory Coast. After Ivory Coast, you have Zambia. After Zambia, Haiti. And all these people that recognize Biafra, none of them withdraw their recognition. Hold on to that point. Hold it very tight. None of these countries that recognize Biafra withdrew their recognition. They never withdrew it. Up to this moment as we speak, they never withdraw their recognition. Does that tell you something? Does that signal anything for you? Just as the president was saying, that there is no world powers among the big names, in those who control what is happening, the world powers. None of them recognize Biafra for their own selfish interest. But this time is going to be a different ballgame. If care is not taken, they will be the first to recognize Biafra this time. Biafra have recognition already. And when we talk of restoration, as soon as Biafra is restored, these recognitions are going to be in position. None of these countries have withdrawn their recognition up to date. Tanzania, Gabon, Ivory Coast, Zambia, and Haiti. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are, continue to support Biafran government. Continue to pray for our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. Continue to support him the best way you can. He has the key to our freedom. There is no doubt whatsoever. If you are one of those doubting, continue to doubt. It's up to you. If you are one of those deceiving themselves, continue to deceive yourself. It cannot change the reality to become something else. No. The truth remains that Biafra has come. And no man born of a woman will stop it. No man born of woman. And the zoo that you are seeing today, you shall see it no more. The zoo you are seeing today, you shall see it no more. Let them continue to push their propaganda and blackmail and all their evil agenda and whatever. Do not shake. Continue to support the Biafran government. That is the right thing to do. And let us listen to our Prime Minister, our Supreme Amazon Nandekan, the message he has for us.
Those of you that bore witness to what happened at Zakibiam, at OD, Emene, Obibo, Isiama Farugu, in Aba, in Atomor, must know that we cannot allow such senseless state-sponsored massacre of the innocent to continue. We can't allow it. We will never, ever allow it. Therefore, I am placing the United Nations on notice, the EU, British government, the US government, that wherever the Nigerian army goes in again to massacre innocent people, we are going to retaliate. We will retaliate. OPIBO will be the last time any sitting governor anywhere will give the order for innocent people to be killed. Should that happen again, that governor will die.
Now you understand that the Liberation Army have the right on what they are doing. The supreme leader of IPOB, Mazen Nandekan, has placed them on notice before now. Even before the appearance of our Prime Minister, Mazen Simon Ekpa. The world have been placed on notice that any day the Zoological Republic Army go and take the life of any Biafra, that we are going to retaliate. You heard it from him. That we will do what? We will retaliate. And that is exactly what we are doing today. That is exactly what we are doing. In self-defense, we will retaliate. And today, in self-defense, the Prime Minister of Biafra, Republic of Mazen Simon Ekpa, is defending our land, and we will continue to do it. The zoo has fallen. The zoo has fallen. The zoo has fallen. Take it or leave it.
The zoo has fallen. The zoo has fallen. Finally, the zoo has fallen. If you do not know that the zoo has fallen, check around yourself. Check around you.
You have it. If you don't know that the zoo has fallen, check around yourself. You will discover that the zoo is gone. Thank you so much for joining me on this program today. I appreciate every one of you that has participated on this program. Wherever you connected from and you join us, may Chukwu and protect you. Please like and share this program to all platforms. Share to family and friends. Share to everyone that is close to you. We are going to come back again in the evening. If you have time, join us in the evening program. We are going to be here in the evening to preach this gospel once again and extend messages. Please engage in this radical evangelism. Help us in this platform the best way you can. Share to all platforms. Let people get the information and know what is going on. I appreciate every one of you. May Chukwu Okike continue to guide and protect the Liberation Army, the resistance fighters, the strike force, the Black Marine, the BLA, everyone that is genuinely fighting for Biafra. May Chukwu Okike and protect them. May Chukwu Okike and protect the de facto government in the whole land. May Chukwu Okike and protect all our media warriors that are speaking on various platforms. May Chukwu Okike and protect our supreme leader, Mazen Nandekan. May Chukwu Okike and protect our Prime Minister, Mazen Simon Ekpa, wherever he may be. May Chukwu Okike and protect him. Give him more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Protect him, secure him. No evil shall befall him. No evil shall befall him. No evil shall befall him. He will never dash his foot against a stone. We commit Mazen Nandekan before Chukwu Okike for divine healing, divine strength, divine health. May Chukwu Okike continue to give him divine revelation. Keep him strong and secure him. No evil shall befall him. No evil shall befall him. No evil shall befall him. He will join us alive and we will celebrate him in his lifetime. Thank you so much for joining me on this program. I will see you again in the evening. Please join us if you can be able to join us. Subscribe and click your notification bell so that you will not be left behind. Thank you and stay safe. See you again next time. Stay blessed.